about it.
I hate. That's not a good feeling. It's not good to have a nagging feeling, like you're forgetting something right as you're about to embark on like a 2-hour live stream where you'll have really limited time to deal with anything.
You know, I have the same weird feeling too, though, that like we missed something very important, and we're already starting. It's too late. Whatever it was, it'll come to haunt us soon enough.
Nothing can go wrong.
It'll catch up to us. Usually does. Okay, I'm gonna tweet.
Look at you with your high CPU usage.
Yay! I know. I gotta install a better CPU in there. It's a Core i5, but it's not.
Oh, it's an i5?
Yeah, I think there's an i5 in there.
Just live streaming with an i5.
I know. Hey, it's not gaming, so it's not quite as intensive.
Sucker. All right.
As long as you're not trying to stream 4K again. You dick.
Hey, I thought your system would be up to it. Anyway, hey guys, welcome. This is Awesome Hardware. It's a live show. Kyle and I do it every Tuesday evening at 5:30 p.m. Pacific time. We stream live to twitch.tv/awesomehardware. We also stream live to each of our YouTube channels. We do an hour on each half. Right now, you're watching my half. That's Paul's Hardware. That's my channel. And what episode are we on? 86? This is 86.
86.
We're going to 86 this episode right now.
Scary.
So you're watching side A. In about an hour, we'll transition over to Kyle's half. We'll switch over to Bitwit channel, and we'll stream over there. We talk about technology. We enjoy a frosty beverage. Mine is empty right now. We'll remedy that shortly.
Mine too.
And that is all of the things that I say at the beginning of the show. All right. Let's give a quick shout out, actually, for our beers for this week.
Yay.
We actually unboxed these last week.
Who'd these come from again?
These are from Scott B. from South Carolina.
Ah, yes.
I noted that down because I was worried I would forget it.
That's good.
But Scott
good job,
B.,
Paul.
thanks again for sending these over. These are from Duclaw Brewing Company. Duclaw, which apparently is quite legendary. I don't think I've tried a Duclaw beer before.
Neither have I. This is Dirty Little Freak, and
nice.
It's a brewery from Baltimore. And yeah, this is a 5.8% alcohol by volume. I've never had anything from them either, so curious.
I have Sweet Baby Jesus, which is a chocolate.
Oh, they're different.
Chocolate peanut butter porter, yeah.
I forgot that they were actually all different. That's cool.
I think there might be 2 of each. I could be wrong though.
Cool.
Anyway, so
I'll get one of those.
6.2, although it is a porter.
Ooh, nice.
Not terribly high on the alcohol content. All right, let's move on to the stuff where we encourage you to buy things.
Would you like me to open your beer?
That would be lovely. Thank you, Kyle.
That's right.
So if you want to help support us, if you enjoy the videos and the things that we do, check out our stores. Mine is at paulshardware.net or store.paulshardware.net if I ever do anything with my actual homepage. Anyway, right now you can save 10% off of any order over $50. Use the promo code over50. You can also save 20% on any order over $100. Use promo code over100.
What a horrible deal.
Hey,
who would ever implement that on one of their
It's
stores?
almost like we're having a Black Friday sale, even though Black Friday is over. Also have some new stuff, some ladies' shirts, some decals that are available. The organic cotton beanies, which where did it go? These guys right here. These are now back in stock, specifically for the winter, you know, because it's cold and keep your head warm.
It is a little chilly.
Even
here in SoCal.
Got hoodies, mugs, pint glasses, all that good stuff. If you guys want to check out Kyle's store, he has some new designs as well. Bitwit.tech is his store. /store. Bitwit.tech/store. He now has finalized his Bitwit logo, so that's
finally
available on some shirts.
Yes.
And then you're as well as hoodies.
Yes.
Got some hoodies, and then that same promo code should work for Kyle's store as well.
Yep.
Although it's not listed at the top of his site.
Yeah.
It is listed. You got to go to the main site, bitwit.tech, and then it's right there.
The homepage that I never update.
Yeah.
But if you happen to purchase something from both of our stores around the same time, preferably during this live stream, then you will save some money on shipping. That'll be automatically pushed back to you, and our t-shirt guy will handle all of that automatically. It won't show when you're at checkout, but you will get like some money back. And also you'll get a Johnson shout out from either Paul or I, or both of us. I, for one, will give you a nice little ring if you pick up anything from my store.
People do love when you do that.
Right into the mic. Right into the mic.
All right, let's kick off the show.
Cheers.
Cheers. Thanks for being here, everyone who's watching live.
Thank you, Steve, for the beer.
Scott. Not Steve.
Scott, I was testing you to see how well you know your fans.
Of course I remember that. And also thanks to Sel for being here in helping with the moderation, as well as Mike Manic Geek. Saw him in there too. I think there was a few other people as well that we saw. And yeah, Sel's going to be gathering donation comments if you make them, and we'll try to address those in between segments. All right, my first half of the show is depressing, and I'm sorry.
Good thing we have beer.
I only realized that after I started going into it, but we're starting off with Oh Joy, the segment where we talk about bad news. We try to provide little to no solution for them, and so let's just dive right into this. AT&T has a new streaming service. The Verge or someone else, some other site besides this article that I pulled up, has described it as AT&T declares war on the internet, or something like that was how they described this.
Wow.
But they're basically testing a new streaming service. They're calling it DirecTV Now. Since they've acquired DirecTV, this will allow you to stream some cable TV channels over the internet. The reason this is a problem, especially when it comes to net neutrality, is that they are zero rating the data transfer for watching those specific channels. Now, this is already happens with some providers, and the FCC rules about net neutrality and how internet service providers are classified do not specifically prohibit zero rating content. Now, basically, if you're not familiar with what this does, is like T-Mobile's Binge On, for example. This will allow you to watch a specific set of content that's available via the service provider that will be transmitted via data over your internet connection, and that you will not be charged if you have a data cap or something like that. It'll be like, oh, that doesn't count towards your cap.
But what about all the other people?
Which initially sounds like a good idea, and so if any of you guys are looking into this stuff right now and you're not exactly sure how to deal with it or how to describe stuff, especially when it comes to net neutrality, I'm trying not to get into the political side of this, but I can't not touch on that a little bit. Is that even though that you're getting this advertisement like, oh, you can watch this content for free, it kind of undermines the basic premise of net neutrality, and it's ultimately it's not really a good thing, at least in our opinion and the opinion of a lot of people who kind of are in this area and work on the internet and feel that all data transmitted over the internet should be treated equally, so that companies can't prioritize one set of data over another.
No favoritism.
Yeah. So T-Mobile, not AT&T, but T-Mobile with their Binge On program has not faced any resistance so far with their program because they do not charge the companies providing that content that you can stream for free to your device. They just have it. I don't know how they get that content or whatever, but they don't charge for it. AT&T is different though. To be zero rated on AT&T's network, the content service provider has to pay. So that's a big difference, and that's why people are getting more up in arms about this, as opposed to say stuff like AT&T Binge On service.
So with the AT&T's or the Binge On service, is that since the service provider doesn't have to pay, is that just up to AT&T's discretion or T-Mobile's discretion?
It's up to T-Mobile's discretion to sign up companies to participate with the service. So
but there's no money changing hands.
But there's no money changing hands there. Yeah.
So it's the difference between whores and prostitution. AT&T are the whores because they're actually taking money.
Whores and prostitution, isn't that the same thing?
No, wait, you're right. Sluts and prostitution.
Yeah.
I'm getting my whore terminology all mixed up already.
No, but you're right there.
I need more alcohol.
T-Mobile's giving it out for free, so the FCC's like, oh, you can keep doing that. Whereas
you're just a bunch of sluts.
AT&T is charging for the service, and that's not quite as cool. The reason is, all right, so AT&T, in their defense, AT&T owns DirecTV, which is providing the service that gets zero rated. AT&T's like, oh, but we charge them. We charge DirecTV the same amount we would charge anybody else. But DirecTV is owned by AT&T, so AT&T's got like, but we charge ourselves and then pay ourselves, so it's okay. They're saying that it's an equal amount of money that other services would have to pay, but it's still them essentially not having to pay for one service, whereas an external service they would have to pay for.
Yeah.
Okay, so this would allow them potentially to box out competitors who are not affiliated with AT&T's sponsored data programs. And then it's kind of confusing because DirecTV is now designated as a cable replacement, or it's specifically being designed for that. DirecTV Now, I should say, AT&T's service. And AT&T is also at the same time helping to advance wireless 5G networking. So, whereas a push towards improving infrastructure, like providing better 5G networking, is a good thing, the zero rating of data over the internet is not. The other problem here is that the reason that they're expanding their 5G services and investing in 5G infrastructure is because they want DirecTV to be the primary TV platform by 2020 over their other services that they provide, like in-home connection for TV and stuff like that, which would also then take these rules, which are mainly right now applying to like your service provider for your cell phone, and then overlapping into the service that you pay for in your home.
Right.
Because right now they're different, and right now they're sort of governed by different rules. But if suddenly AT&T says, "Oh, well, we don't need to wire your home up for broadband anymore. We have 5G service that covers you, so you just have to sign up for it or whatever." But the flip side to that is that if that also goes along with these rules that they have implemented that are not treating data equally and that has zero-rated services and all that kind of stuff, it's not a good thing. Yeah. I have more notes here, but I feel like this is already kind of dense enough already. To briefly touch on the political side of it one more time, President-elect Trump has promised to cut back on government regulations. He has appointed two staunch opponents of net neutrality to the FCC, economist and former telecom consultant Jeffrey Eisenack, as well as professor and former Sprint lobbyist Mark Jameson, who are people who you would not expect to uphold some of the stuff that we've been happy that the FCC has done in the last year or two, that FCC Chair Tom Wheeler has done. So anyway, this is something to keep an eye on, and the reason I have it under Oh Joy is because the increase in the acceptance of programs like this are what's going to make it just something that people accept as normal, and I don't think that is something that should happen.
I agree.
Okay, let's move on to the next story in Oh Joy. Oh, what happened here? I don't know what... Oh. Wait, that's not there? Oh, I had a picture I wanted to show that was like, here's why you don't want... here's why you want net neutrality. It was a really good picture, but this article just won't pull up. So, all right, we'll move on to the next thing.
Screw 'em.
Okay. Do you have a phone? Have you ever applied for credit approval anywhere? Credit companies are now potentially looking at your phone data in order to approve you for a loan.
That doesn't seem great.
Yes, the way you use your phone is a proxy for the way you live. A quote from the article says, "Financial institutions like FICO, Equifax, and others are gauging customers' credit worthiness by using phone company data on mobile calling patterns and locations."
Lovely.
Pardon me. For lenders, this is cool because, for one thing, it exposes a huge new pool of customers to them, because there's lots of people who use phones but don't necessarily have a bank account or like a line of credit or something like that. Equifax in particular, as quoted in the article, is starting to do telecommunications data down in Latin America. The number of calls and text messages a potential borrower in Latin America receives can predict a consumer's credit risk, said Robin Moriarty, Chief Marketing Officer at Equifax Latin America. "It turns out the more economically active you are, the more people want to call you."
Wow.
Does that mean like the more cash money you have, the more people just like, can I borrow $50?
Hey, Brian, how's it going?
What's up? Just calling you to shoot the shit.
Here's our daily checkup.
I'm really hard up for cash, just... Well,
I don't know, you could be like the Great Gatsby, though, too. You could have, like, everything. You'd be, like, fucking rolling in the dough and have, like, no friends. What about that guy?
That's true. But
His
he
credit's
probably
gonna
still
be
gets
awesome.
lots of calls, but they're not from real friends. They're from people who just want his money.
No, that's true. Probably all, like, spam and porn
Yeah.
bots.
The article does say that in most cases, customers must grant permissions for their telecommunications records to be accessed. So when you get a new phone or something and there's that little pamphlet with all this fine print in it, it's probably in there somewhere and you've probably already agreed to it. So that makes it okay.
That's
Right?
so weird that the whole, like, the more economically active you are, the more people want to call you. It sounds like a concept that you would see in, like, one of those weird sci-fi dystopian, like Black Mirror. Like,
Yeah.
Like, it seems like a Black Mirror, like, premise or something like that. You know what I
Well,
mean?
it also seems like the type of statement somebody dealing with handling big data would say. Like,
Yeah.
no, don't worry about any specific instances or anything like that.
Yeah.
Just in general, like, people who get more calls. I feel like that's what he's saying, right? If you get more calls, you have more money. Is that what it is?
I mean, I guess.
I don't know. They didn't really seem to be as specific about that.
It's weird that it's like in Latin America. Like, what about regular America? Doesn't that apply to like anywhere?
The article does discuss some of that as well, and it goes into a few other examples. They talk about a startup called Signify that helps customers like Equifax crunch data on who phone users are calling and how often. Works with different companies to do that. this is also there's some international stuff. I mean, this is happening globally. It's all that trade-off of like the convenience of technology is so convenient, but at the same time, the fact is that once you have something like a smartphone in your pocket that has all these sensors and things that it can do, and it knows where it is and has GPS tracking and logs numbers and everything, that's just data collection. And where is that data being collected and what's it being used for and who has access to it are all really important questions that don't necessarily have very clear answers in a lot of situations. So I think there's some very valid paranoia from people about what is done with this type of data. But ultimately, there's you have to kind of weigh that against the convenience. Like I was telling Kyle before I came over today, my phone for the first time today prompted me with it will take you this long to get to Kyle's house. And I was like, I finally figured out that every other week I go to Kyle's house. Like, if you go to work every day at the same place, your phone will figure out if you have like an Android phone. I'm not sure if iPhones do this too. Your phone will figure out that's where your work
commute,
is,
yeah.
And it will start saying, "Oh, your commute. You might have some traffic today or something like that." It figured out over the course of however long we've been doing this that I come to Kyle's house in the mid-afternoon on Tuesdays every other week.
So was your initial reaction like, that's fucking awesome, like shortly followed by, wait, what else does it know?
Yeah, no,
about
it's
my habits
both.
and everything.
It's a mixed bag,
It's a
mixed emotion that I get where I'm like, that's kind of cool and kind of scary. So, yeah.
It is what it is,
iPhones apparently do not do that, but I don't know. That's from Technoscope in chat. And I'm sure other people might have. Maybe there's apps with iPhone.
That's right. Apple users. Androids are way cooler and scarier than your phones.
All right, so there's that. Let's move on to the final story for Oh Joy. Google's AI can now translate between languages it wasn't taught to translate between.
Great.
This is a futurism.com article. And this one isn't like terrible news, directly or anything like that.
It's just a glimpse of the dark future ahead.
One of the things you read and you kind of have this ominous feeling the entire time. Like, oh, we didn't teach the computer to do this. It just figured it out.
It's learning beyond our capability.
Yeah.
Beyond our understanding.
So the AI that Google Translate runs on can translate a language pair with a reasonable amount of accuracy if it has translated both of them into another common language. So if it didn't
Italian and Spanish.
Yeah, if it didn't know how to speak Italian, but it knew how to speak Spanish and English, and it could you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's creepy.
Why
it's creepy and
am I
weird.
trying to explain this?
I don't like
it's
it.
already explained just fine. It removes a significant amount of human input. It opens the door to AI that can learn and problem solve better than ever. Google recently upgraded the Translate to the company's deep learning Google Neural Machine Translation (GNMT) system. And self-learning AI, apart from just the Google Translate, is being explored by several developers. Tomorrow's everyday computer is expected to have these capabilities. So just your laptop or whatever you use will start to sort of tune itself to you and learn about you and do things that you do. I mean, we already just talked about like what the Android phones are doing and stuff like that, but I have a feeling this is even more specific to your actions and your activities and all that kind of stuff.
Just wait for the day where your phone just starts talking shit out loud about you behind your back in like a foreign language that you don't understand.
It's like
with another phone. Like they're just talking shit. Yeah, Paul's like, but it's all like in Armenian or some shit.
Are you gonna eat fast food again? Oh, God, my phone nags me so much. And it knows me so well. Like all of my secrets, it's like it's always right about all these terrible things it says.
The traffic on the way to Del Taco is fairly light.
Why, thank you.
Fat ass.
Okay.
You fuck you, phone!
Pile of
You don't know me!
So yeah, our computers will not only be able to self-train, eventually they will know what we need and anticipate our desires without any prompting. And at that point we'll be coddled into a submissive state where when the machines take over, we'll just be like, it's fine. It's cool.
Already acceptance.
Yeah, we've already reached acceptance. All right. And one last story to provide a brief glimmer of hope in between my terrible stories of doom and gloom is this one here. Linked in the description if you guys are interested on the AMD website. An actual post from AMD with an actual event
about space
on 12/13, which that's December 13th at 3 p.m.
It's about Zen.
CST. They're going to have a sneak preview of Zen. look, just 13 days and 19 hours away. There's a countdown thing here, and you can put your name in and get prompted about that. We have some information about Zen. We'll be talking about a little bit later in the show.
We do.
As well as on Kyle's half, so stay tuned for that.
We also have some donations, if we want to sound those
do,
off
yes.
before the next segment.
That's all for Oh Joy, so yeah, let's do donations.
Yes, you know, nothing to pick me up after a bunch of depressing stories like good old money.
Okay.
Hardcore cash. So thank you very much, Zach, for the $5 donation. Guys, love the show. Considering upgrading my rig from a 7700K into GTX 970, and I've got a lot of RAM, I was just thinking of getting another 970 because they're dirt cheap now, but I would have to get a new motherboard because mine doesn't support SLI. And I don't want to spend a ton of money on like a GTX 1080. Any suggestions? Well, your CPU is still good for several years to come. So I don't think it's necessary for you to upgrade the platform unless you're that kind of enthusiast that just needs the latest and greatest thing all the time. So, geez, I mean, I don't know. Maybe you could sell your 970 and put the money you get from that towards a faster single card. Because I always prefer a single GPU myself over multi-GPU when possible.
970 SLI just doesn't really have much appeal for me.
Yeah.
I agree with Kyle.
Yeah, and then you have to consider, you know, is your power supply going to be quick enough to handle that? And, you know, that's going to be generating more heat inside of your case, more so than a single card would, most likely. So, yeah, that's what I would do. Sell your 970, put it as, you know, a credit towards a faster GPU. Good luck with that, though, Zach. Next, we got Yoda Ninja. Yoda Ninja with the $25 donation. Just bought a WD Black 7200 RPM 6TB HDD hard drive. What are some of the benefits partitioning it? Or should I keep it vanilla?
Wait,
what are benefits of partitioning? Well,
I think the main benefits of partitioning are to help you keep organized.
And especially if you only have a limited number of drives to work with.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but with a 6TB hard drive, I mean, that's great. Unless you want to do some, like, RAID configurations, like a RAID 1, if you want to mirror that shit, then partitions could be a good thing for you for that level of capacity, because you have a lot to work with there. You could split it up, you know, have your games on one partition, have your OS or your apps and stuff on another, things like that, if you wanted to, because like I said, it's just a lot of capacity to work with. I would definitely split that up if you felt the need to. Like Paul said, organization is probably the number one benefit there. And unless you're doing a lot of crazy intensive workloads or you have a lot of data to store, I don't think you'll need like a second hard drive. Most people are.
Yeah, I mean,
most average, even prosumers are okay with 6 TB.
There might be some more advanced stuff, like, you know, setting up a partition that's protected or something like that you might do with it. So I mean, there are other things you can do, but as far as like speed or performance or anything, not really.
Yeah.
So yeah, if it was me, I would probably just here's a 6 TB big old block of space.
Yeah, me too. Okay, next we got $10 donation from Solo Clay Dog. Thank you very much. 95, longtime subscriber, first time catching you guys live. Welcome to the show. My laptop has a 970M, mine too, and I struggle with Minecraft. What? Any ideas? If you're struggling with Minecraft, well, that's a very CPU intensive game.
Yeah, alright, so I don't know that much specifically about Minecraft and how it works with the engine, and but I have read in places, specifically my video I did several years back where I did 4-way GTX Titans, and I benchmarked Minecraft, that the GPU doesn't really matter that much, so I would maybe look towards your CPU, perhaps. I don't know what your laptop is running as far as the processor goes, but that might be what you're dealing with. You might also consider, if it's a laptop, that maybe you have a bunch of background stuff that's running, like if it came with like bloatware or that kind of thing. Check your system tray, or hit Control Shift Escape and see what processes are running in the background. Maybe try to kill those.
Because that would suck up some like single thread CPU processing
so
power.
That could cause you some lagging or whatever.
Yeah.
All right. One more question just popped up from Antonio, unknown $1 donation. What's your opinion on buying engineering sample processors off of eBay? I don't think you should do it because you're not supposed to resell engineering sample processors. I mean, you could buy one, but just know if someone's selling an engineering sample processor,
they're doing a bad thing.
They weren't supposed to do that. Those are, yeah.
And if you can't trust them to, you know, keep a contract good with good old Intel or a big company, then how can you expect them to actually be selling a decent working product?
Who could they trust? If not,
who could they?
Or who could you not?
Who could you not even?
Exactly.
Today.
All right. Next segment, which I just made a lower thirds for in the time we were talking about there,
Sneaky.
is 2017
Sounds
predictions.
pretty good. Sounds a solid lower thirds for
Because I
just doing it on
reused the
fly.
one with the Steam logo. It was already there.
Take it all back.
All right, so let's talk about what's going to be going on in 2017 next year, right? It's not quite December. It's almost December.
The year of the fox.
So first, machine learning. We already talked about, AI and taking over and ruling our lives. We'll all be slaves to technology and
I
stuff.
thought Joy was over.
Yeah, I know. That's all right.
Paul.
This one is not quite the same.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so maybe we can try to be a little bit more positive with this one when it comes to machine learning. What is machine learning doing right now? Or what are they doing with machine learning right now? Like the iPhone 7, for
Assembling
example.
firearms.
Weapons. Creating weapons, mostly. The iPhone 7 is going to use machine learning on its camera to recognize faces, imaging, and even lighting in a room.
To target people.
And to more accurately dispatch. It's more efficiently...
Assassin.
More efficient dispatch of... they need a term that they would use to brand the people who are who oppose the regime or whatever.
Spotters, or I don't know.
They've called it untrustworthy
Rebels.
Yeah, rebels. That's always the classic. All right.
Humans.
The NFL, for example, is using machine learning to gather deep insights into player movements, positions, and passes to reorganize play style. Who needs a coach when you have a computer? Medical sector, they're using machine learning to analyze patients and predict the likelihood of their returning. Not to figure out if they're sick, just if they're going to come back and spend more money at the hospital, apparently. Maybe I'm being cynical. Hiring and talent management can be handled by algorithms that dig out desired characteristics and hopefully remove biases. Possibly. The ability to leverage data enables... Wait. This is... Alright. The ability to leverage data enables for more precise decision-making in place of gut feel. So this is one thing that is true. This is one thing when I was working in the corporate world that I always try to say... Make decisions based on data and not just on I think it should be this way.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is true in a lot of senses. If you can gather enough data to be able to say more accurately, well, it's trending this way or that way, or whatever decision making you happen to be doing, I think that's helpful.
I agree.
And then the increase of machine learning and interest in machine learning is indicated by startup watchers. The ones I list here are Crunchbase and AngelList. They're showing more than 1,000 startups in the machine learning space right now. A recent MIT survey targeting executives of large companies found 76% use machine learning to target higher sales growth. And more than a dozen European banks have already replaced older statistical modeling with machine learning. They're also using it for recommendation engines, marketing automation, financial fraud detection, language translation, and text-to-speech applications.
Cool.
So
Maybe we
see?
should start using machine learning.
I feel like at some point we're going to have to if we want to stay competitive.
Seriously.
I'm going to use machine learning to make a video for me today, so I don't have to. Eventually that might happen.
Hey guys, welcome.
Here's a CPG Grey video that's about will you be replaced by machine or by automation? And I like one of the things he does in the video. There's music playing the whole time, and at a certain point he's like, "Oh, new creative types. Do you think you're not going to be replaced as well? Because you make unique, special things because you're a creative flower and all that kind of things. Like maybe you make music. Well, if you're listening to the music in this video, it was made by a machine.
Fuck!
And you probably had no idea.
It's better than anything I've ever made.
Yeah. So yeah, but there's lots of positive things I'm sure that can be done with it as well.
Why are we paying DJs so much again?
That's true. That's definitely a job that is ripe for replacement by
Don't
machines.
just be worshiping a MacBook Pro up there on stage. Who needs Steve Aoki? There's a fucking MacBook.
Oh yeah.
Just
as long as it has a hat, with shiny things. It's
yeah.
gotta have a funny hat.
Although MacBooks can't throw cakes in your face. Only a person can do that.
MacBooks what?
A MacBook
the
can't
cake,
throw
the
a cake
cake.
in. Yeah,
You're right.
There's a weird thing that he
No,
does.
I've seen the thing. I was there.
He was there at TwitchCon.
I was at TwitchCon.
That's right.
Okay.
Anyway, digression. But I digress.
We did digress there. Okay, let's move on to what else can we expect in 2017? Aging will no longer be something that just happens to you. Aging will now be a disease that you get. So
Pretty much is living next to Hollywood.
this article is from Futurism.com. More scientists are pushing to have aging classified as a disease. Some argue that aging is just damage to the body, damage that the body has sustained throughout life. These natural wear and tear effects can be stopped and ultimately undone. Right?
Like all the wrinkles, like that's just like debris has been hitting your face over time or something.
Yeah, because you could call in.
You just wear a shield, just
So,
wear a mask,
if
and you'll never get wrinkles on your face.
No, I mean, you wouldn't even get the wrinkles because you wouldn't get old. If you start getting old, you'd be like, man, I'm coming down with age. Like, you call into work and be like, I'm sorry, I can't come into work. I'm feeling very old today. They say, oh man, you really need to go to the doctor for that. Get that fixed out. Then the next week you come back and be like, man, that
Botox really helped.
Yeah, or whatever they do to make it go back the other way. And then
wrinkle cream does wonders.
Yeah, and then
I can work again with this smooth skin and these washboard abs.
I have to assume that would all be part of the package. I mean, why be young if you don't have all of those things?
True.
The biologist they're talking with in the article is British biologist Aubrey de Grey. Aubrey, I'm assuming, is a female. I don't know if that might be a male. Aubrey, can that be a male's name?
No.
Okay, it's a female. She says aging is the result of the accumulation of garbage material that our cells cannot break down. So, traditionally male.
What?
All right.
Huh. Yeah.
All right, Aubrey's a dude now.
It's only used as feminine in the U.S.
They can do that with science, too.
Science.
Back in 2012, Aubrey and company identified 2 types of bacteria that release enzymes capable of effectively and completely breaking down 7-ketocholesterol, 7-KC, which is a substance responsible for cardiovascular disease. And they actually got that bacteria by looking at corpses that were decomposing. Like, well, the corpses can break it down. Why can't people break it down while they're alive? They modified the genes of the bacteria so that they would work with within human cells, and then the cells were successfully protected from the toxic substance. Kind of fun. The article does also point out that many of de Grey's claims remain controversial, such as, apparently he said the first person who will live to 1,000 years of age has already been born. Could be you. Could live to 1,000.
It's me.
I just think we need to get up to the point where we can have relativistic travel, and then we can live as long as we want. As long as we just go fast enough. But yeah, so 2017, no more aging.
That sounds great.
All right, one last bit here, and this is a bit more of a warning, and again, kind of goes back more towards the oh joy thing. There's a bill in the U.S. I believe in 2 or 3 days. It has some proposed changes to Rule 41 by the Department of Justice. It will become law in the U.S. on December 1st. Rule 41 is part of the Federal Rules of Criminal Procedure, which concerns search and seizure. Let's get off of that. This would allow the FBI, according to the article here from Tech Dirt, which is written fairly heavy-handedly, but I'll read it nonetheless, would allow the FBI to hack thousands of computers around the world without a single warrant.
Oh, joy!
I'm sorry, with a single warrant. But just one warrant, thousands of computers. The DOJ wants permission to break into compromised computers to poke around inside them without the permission or knowledge of owners of these computers. They will also want to treat anything that anonymizes internet users or hides their locations to be presumed acts of a guilty mind.
Wow.
That I find to be very not good.
Yeah.
I have a VPN.
Yeah, exactly. Anyone with a VPN is now a target.
A VPN
you're clearly hiding something.
Anonymizes where you are, like geographically in the world.
That's really dumb.
I use applications that have encryption, that do end-to-end encryption, that encrypt the stuff that's sent so that people intercepting that data in the in-between cannot read it and access it.
That's like saying, like, if I often go like in invisible mode on Steam, if like Steam saw that as reason to investigate my account for potentially using stolen game codes. Like, that's how absurd that is.
Yeah.
Like, there's no relation there. Just because you value your privacy and you are capable and aware and smart enough to actually, give yourself some, because not many people know how to, like, set up a VPN, doesn't necessarily mean you're a freaking crook.
Well, I mean, the VPNs now, they're so slick. Like, they're very easy. Like, you download an application and hit enter and put in your
yeah,
credentials.
but some people don't understand the concept of it.
Or just like what it is in general.
Yeah, like or
well,
why
especially
would I use
if it's sold to people as what it does or like what the effects of it are. Like, oh, protect yourself and your privacy online.
Yeah.
Like, not necessarily explaining, oh, it's taking your data and it's bouncing it off something else, so it looks like it's coming from a different location or something like that.
Yeah.
So people might use a VPN without even knowing that they're doing this kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, in some situations. So, fortunately,
Ludicrous.
nothing has been done about this.
Ludicrous.
No, so back in late October, nearly 24 members of Congress sent a letter to Attorney General Loretta Lynch with a number of questions about changes to Rule 41, specifically asking how the department could prevent forum shopping for warrants, which is where rather than having appropriate cause to go and investigate something, that they would just start looking at things because it's a lot easier to do that online on the internet than it is going to physical locations.
Mm-hmm.
Also, whether the government would have safeguards in place to prevent damage to innocent users' devices if the devices are searched.
Of course not.
Letter also asks whether owning a device that was compromised in an attack, such as a botnet infection, constitutes probable cause for a remote search. My computer got a virus. My computer was involved in the botnet search. Suddenly, the Department of Justice can just go into my computer and look at all my stuff.
Yeah.
That also doesn't seem right. Last week, the Justice Department did reply to that letter with a reiteration of the scope of the change of the rule, but they didn't answer any of the questions that were asked. Why would they do that?
Of course not.
There are bills pending right now that would prevent or delay the enactment of the rule, but they are unlikely to move forward before Thursday, so we're all screwed.
Good lord.
So, in 2017, other than having no age anymore and the machines learning everything, we will also have, our computers, the government can just go in them and look at stuff.
Now
All
I'm
right.
Now I'm going to have to deal with the DOJ for like 1,000 years, because that's how long I'll live, apparently.
That's exciting.
No, it's not. Should we do some more
here's
donations?
the other article about the senators who inquired about that. All right, yeah, let's run on a few donations.
All right.
And then we have a sponsor for today.
Solo Clay Dog again for $5. Thank you very much. The laptop that you're running is a 4720 HQ. The model is an HP Omen. No, that should be fine for Minecraft.
That should be way more than you need for Minecraft. That would point to a software issue.
Yeah, check your background processes and stuff.
Yeah.
Pup, thank you very much for the $15 donation.
Thanks, Pup.
Hi, back to you.
He just said hi.
Hi there.
Yay.
Yeah. Thievy KO or Chow. Thievy Chow. $5. Thank you very much. Love your videos, Paul. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
That's all I had to say.
Thank you so much.
Robert Davis for $5. Thank you. Love the vids. I need a good water cooling case. I'm looking at the Define S. Suggestions? Define S.
It's a pretty solid water cooling case.
Definitely not the Define R5. I don't know anyone who would ever consider
it's a better water cooling case if you have the dedication to invest in doing some mods, really making it your own.
Yep, spending way too much time on it.
Putting a stamp of personality on it and stuff.
Not even having that room for. Anyway, Ruben, thank you very much for the $10 donation. Here's $10 for the beer. Thank you.
Do we have any other suggestions besides the Define S, or is it just Define S? Fractal's not a sponsor this week. We can do that.
Oh, man, anything Fantex. I always feel like I always gravitate towards Fantex cases for
do
custom
some
water
good
cooling. The Enthoo Evolve ATX is a gorgeous case, and it's very functional as well.
There's
a bunch of them out
the
there
new Corsair cases. I don't know, the 570X Kyle and I have both worked with just recently. That one might be more of a challenge because there's really not many places to hide stuff. But the 470X, which doesn't have the glass all around, I think that might be a good option. I like the tempered glass thing because you have that nice panel to look through.
It's very modern.
It sucks to do like a water-cooled build and then have like a plexi panel on there and have it get like scratched up and stuff.
Yep.
It detracts from the overall look.
Indeed. Okay. Ruben, the $10 donation. Thank you very much. You have a 6800K and you're looking for an AIO. You've narrowed it down to the NZXT X62 or the Predator 280 from EK. What are your thoughts? I've only had, I guess I haven't experienced with both of them. I've only tested thermals with the Predator, though, and I can say that they are... The Predator, I don't know, I felt like... Well, actually, I can't say that I tested it, I isolated it, because it was actually in tandem with
it had in a
loop
with
with the GPU. So I don't know. I think with just the 280, just cooling the CPU, independently. I think it would do a great job. I know there's benchmarks and stuff out there. The X62 also seems like a viable option. I'm guessing the X62 is probably a bit cheaper than the Predator 280 as well, so that could be something that you factor into your decision. But I don't know. Check the reviews. I'm sure they're both good options, though.
Yeah, I'd say go for the Predator 280 if you think there's ever a chance that you might expand the loop and like add another radiator and get into water cooling, because that kit, as expensive as it is, does come with a really nice set of equipment for like your basic water cooling needs. And yeah, the upgrade potential is definitely there.
Carlo,
don't read this.
Oh.
Carlo, thank you very much for your donation. Thank you very much for your kind words. We really appreciate that. Much love right back to you.
Yes.
And we
wish you all the best.
And I'm glad that if we can provide any help in whatever circumstances you might be going through.
I'm surprised that we can help anyone ever.
I am too.
Because we're just two dudes. This is just drinking beer and shooting the shit.
But if there's one person who we have helped, then we have done good for the universe.
Yes. Which means that we deserve more beer, which I'm currently out of.
Most likely. Are the other two downstairs?
Yeah. Do we have any up here?
I have 2 Boddingtons.
I'll take a Boddington, if that's okay.
Because
I'm a degenerate piece of
have the
filth.
stash right up here. All right, Peter Cruz, thank you for the £5 donation.
Damn.
He has the money to buy a 800 to 1,000 pound PC.
That's pretty
So
solid.
it'd be very heavy.
Is it?
Okay, oh, geez. Pour it. You gotta pour it.
It's not open. It's just cracked.
Yeah. Well, you can't. You gotta crack it and then immediately start pouring.
No, it's scary. My laptop's right here.
Okay.
Have you...
Anyway, I feel like I should wait for KB Lake, but maybe it's just a waste of time.
No!
Peter?
It's not. Do it.
Peter, we have more to talk about in this very episode that
might influence
might
you in some way.
seriously influence your outlook right now. So, yeah. Stay tuned, I guess, is what I should say. It's been a weird time for like the Black Friday season and everything because there's stuff on the horizon coming very soon. Okay. We have one more that just came in from Jonathan Fee. Hey guys, I've tweeted you a link to some Asus Z270 leaked motherboards. We will be looking at that today, Jonathan. Thank you very much for tweeting that article.
Thank you, sir.
I did spot that. If that's the one that was tweeted this morning, I spotted it, and I was like, oh, I should talk about that. And then Kyle, he scooped me. He like went in there. He's like, I'm gonna take that.
And
okay.
and I didn't even look at that article, so I have like literally no notes for it.
It's gonna be like, look at these motherboards.
That's all it's gonna be.
It's just some pictures of some.
I hope you're all not expecting anything more.
All right, cool. Okay, let us briefly do a sponsor spot. Today's episode is brought to you guys by Gigabyte. Gigabyte, maker of fine computer components throughout the world. We have one here we're going to do a brief unboxing of. This is actually a product that we first spotted at Computex this year.
Here's the box.
There it is. It's a Brix Gaming UHD.
That means 4K.
Unit.
That's 3840 by 2160.
Yeah.
Bitches.
Ultra HD.
It's 4K, yo.
So this is an all-in-one computer. Ooh. The version that we have here is fully kitted out, so it has everything in there, including storage.
Look at that. This is much larger, or much taller, I should say, than the original bricks.
It's like an original brick stacked. It's like a brick stacker.
Yeah, it's the same girth.
Something like that. Yeah.
Woo woo! But definitely maybe 2 or 3 times the height.
Still a very minimal footprint.
Looks very very sturdy. It's got kind of a brushed aluminum finish all around, which doesn't seem too a little prone to fingerprints, but for the most part it looks very classy, very elegant. Rear I/O includes 3 USB 3.0 ports, actually perhaps a 4th, the red port. I don't know if that's for like a BIOS flashback type of thing, or if that's, I don't know what the red port's for, but there's Intel Gigabit Ethernet LAN, I would assume, DC for your power. You've got Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, of course, from the latest standards.
The red port might be USB 3.1.
3.1. There you go. Oh, yes, of course. And it's right next to a USB 3.1 Type-C. So you get 1 Type-C and 1 Type-A for the USB 3. Video outs are pretty generous as well. You get an HDMI and 3 mini display ports. Fancy that.
Supports 4 independent 4K images on multiple displays. So if you're somewhere where you need digital signage or something like that, and a little system to control it. 2.6 liters as far as the actual volume of the system itself. This one we're looking at has a Skylake i7 6700HQ, a GeForce GTX 950, full. Well, they don't have mobile versions of that. Oh wait, yeah, they do. Anyway,
Yeah.
it's a full 950, not the mobile version. And then again, this can be purchased as a bare bone where you add your own memory and storage and stuff. This one they sent us has 8 gigs of memory, a 120 gig M.2 SSD, so it must have an M.2 slot in there.
Woo.
1 terabyte hard drive and Windows 10.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Pretty sexy.
So there it is, guys. The Bricks Gaming UHD. If you're looking for a tiny little computer,
You could probably do some like live streaming with this.
yeah, I'm sure you could.
We should just start hosting awesome hardware with this.
We should.
Ask Gigabyte if we can keep it.
Start with your half of the show. We can't. We have to return it.
Damn it! All right, I'm gonna put it away.
Okay.
There it goes.
All right.
Thank you, Gigabyte, very much for sponsoring the show.
Thanks again, Gigabyte.
Nice little mini PC there.
And let us move on to the next segment.
Let us
which
move on.
is Sword Fight.
Let us move on.
Sword Fight. Yes, indeed. Sword Fight is where Kyle and I both take up opposing viewpoints on controversial subject matter and argue it amongst ourselves in an attempt to sway your opinion. I think that's correct. So I'm already going to be posting the Strawpoll in chat here, so you guys can vote on it, and we'll come and check your votes in not too long.
Yeah.
So, first question here is a question when it comes to purchasing the stuff that you might purchase for your computer. In this case, we have a new product just announced and made available by NZXT, the H440 Hyper Beast.
Hyper Beast.
Look at that. The price, as you can see right here, is $199.99, which is quite a bit more expensive than your typical H440. However, look at that.
One of a kind.
Look at that paint job on there.
Does it say
It's
how many?
not- It's not quite one of a kind. They're making
1,300.
1,337.
Elite amount.
That's
elite number of units.
That's elite speak for those of you who have never used the internet before.
Nyeh.
And the design is based off of the M4A1-S CS:GO weapon skin
Ah ha ha.
of the same name. Yeah.
Sexy.
So anyway, there it is. You get this like little placard for it, right? And it's got the door that opens up. So there, here you can see it side by side, the door with the mouth, and the tongue coming out of the mouth that does not look like a comfortable tongue to have in your mouth.
I don't know. It might be really comfortable.
Like, imagine if your tongue looked like that and had all these ridges and pokey parts on it, and like his teeth.
You wouldn't be able to find many people
Also-
that French kiss.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
just chop their face off with your tongue.
So-
Come here, mi amor. Dead. He's
We
a
need-
lonely beast.
We need an animation of that. So here's the question. Here's a question for all you guys, because this is certainly not the first time that this type of thing has been made available. It is unique for NZXT for this one, but how much is something like this worth to you? Making
Question.
something unique, making a build that's unique to you is, it's very popular for people who build their own computers. But how much is a premium special edition limited run case, paint job, or skin like this worth to you? Now, people are already voting, I'm sure, but just to specify here, obviously there's a big question of whether or not you think this actually looks cool.
Yeah.
Some people might, some people might not.
Well, you're not saying for this question
Yeah,
isn't
I'm not.
for this
This is a
particular
general
skin.
question.
Yeah.
Let's assume that the mod or the paint job or whatever
Could
is
do
something
anything you
you
want.
think is cool, something that you like, and something that you think would enhance the look
Right.
of your build. So anyway, we have basically 4 price points here. What's it worth? Let's see. We got to put a dollar amount on this, and that's what everyone will have to charge from now on. 25, 50, 75, 100.
I would say 100.
$100. Okay.
Yeah.
Why is it worth
Because I mean,
$100?
because where else are you gonna go? You're not gonna do it yourself. It's gonna come out like shit. At least it would if I tried it. And you got to consider that there's someone on the other end. It also depends if it's like a screen, if it's like just a template that they're using, or if it's like custom, either hand done, or it's a custom screen that's just for you. I could see paying a lot more for that. If it really was one of a kind. If it's something like this, in this case where there's maybe 1,000 other units, then, it's definitely mass produced. It's not like one guy doing this on your case. by hand. I could see that, far beyond $100 being worth it, because it's like, that's his thing. That's his art. It's handmade. It's very customized. Something like this that's mass produced, I would say 50 to 75. I could see 75, especially. I mean, there's only 1,000 units, but that seems like a lot, maybe. Like, okay, well, there's like 1,300 other guys that have this. It's not really that unique. But then think about how many H440s are sold globally. It's probably way more. So yeah,
at least 440.
At least 440. That's how they got the name. So I mean, if you consider that, then yeah, it is a fairly unique product, and I think people should be willing to pay, I would say, $75 for it.
Okay. Wait, you said 100. You changed.
No, $100 if it was like, like way more custom, like handmade and shit.
So
if it was like one guy.
So you're providing two different answers here.
Does it make sense? Does this make sense? If it's NZXT, then 75. But if it's like dude in his basement, then 100. Does that make any sense?
That does make sense. Because you're talking about, like, because they commissioned an artist to design this, and then they took it and have applied that to a bunch of different cases.
Right.
But you're right. Somebody who you're like, hey, like the guy who's gonna paint what do you paint on, like, the like, on the hood of like a muscle car or whatever, and you got the design with the Indians and the moon or whatever, or what else did they do on that?
Dragons.
There's like a princess or dragons or something like that.
Yep. Or tribal tattoos.
Yes.
Tribal designs, Japanese characters.
I just tweeted
that they're not exactly sure what they say.
That's usually what I like to go for. Give me those characters. Dude, what do you want to say? I don't care. That one looks cool.
Chinese characters that may or may not say toilet.
Yeah, toilet. Okay, I'm gonna argue for $50, just because I feel like, as Kyle said, I mean, if you're talking about a one-off or something like that, or a custom paint job that one person is doing on one case, then yes, it's definitely worth more. Probably upwards more in the $150 to $250 range for something like that. But yeah, I'd say $50 as far as an upsell for this, because if you're looking at something that's going to be available to lots of different people and you're going to want to sell a reasonable amount, obviously they think they can sell a reasonable amount. And they made over 1,000 of them. That's not like, I mean, that's a limited run, but that's not like super limited, or anything like that. So I'd say $50, which obviously this one is marked up more like 100. But let's see what you guys thought of this one. Any of our case manufacturers watching?
Yeah.
Hey, I win. $50, 25. You came in last with 100.
I did.
100 or 75.
I'm saving my strength for Swordfight.
So 50 or 25. This is Swordfight.
Oh, it is.
What are you talking?
Fuck. My bad.
Haha.
Good lord. You duped me. I've been duped.
Apparently, I did. What was that?
Without even trying. I duped myself.
Oh.
Well, I'll be a heavy hitter on the next one.
Okay.
Believe you me.
Well, the next one is definitely a very controversial subject.
I'm sure it is, here. As they always are on Awesome Hardware.
Can you link it in chat?
Yes. To both?
Sure.
Sure.
All right, question number 2. Since we are on the cusp of the holiday season, what do you want for Christmas?
Ooh.
I just thought I'd ask this straight up. Basically, whatever the answer is here is what everyone is going to want to get for Christmas. We have computer parts, pony.
Wait, where are you?
A drone with a video camera. Are you missing the link?
Where are your sword fights? Oh, here it is.
I don't know.
No, I got it.
You got it?
Yep.
I got it.
Nope. Done. Done. You jack.
I put it in.
You have to do it in YouTube.
I put it in YouTube. Though.
Okay, good.
Okay. Anyway, a drone with a video camera, power tools.
Wait, why are you logged in as me?
I'm not. That was you.
Oh, that was me. Oh, that's Twitch. Sorry, because you're in night mode. Because you're in night mode, I thought it was YouTube gaming. My bad.
Confused me at first. I don't know. You've never logged in on this computer.
Oh boy.
Okay. All right. So there's the options, Kyle. You went first on the first time, so I'm gonna.
What do you want for Christmas?
What do you want for Christmas? I'm gonna argue for this is I'm gonna go with what my mom always says.
A pony.
I don't care what people get me for Christmas, as long as we're all together as a family, because that's really what Christmas is all about. It's gathering together with the family to have communal time, sharing memories, love, Christmas season. joyousness and all that good thing. Because what's Christmas without family, right? That's so really. The whole holiday season in general is so commoditized. It's all about the Black Friday and the Cyber Monday and buying stuff and what are you gonna get and all that kind of thing. Really, none of that stuff matters. What really matters? Family.
Ugh.
Anyway, Cal.
That was hard for my ears to hear, Paul.
I know.
I haven't cringed that hard since.
I was very. All right, let's argue for your crap.
So
then.
I feel like now I just have to go the complete other way, which would be, I guess on this list, computer parts. No, wait.
Computer parts.
Or it doesn't matter. I'll just be. I kind of like that one too, but I feel like that's a cop out. Computer parts, duh. What else is there to life? No, not family, because family, you can get a new one. You can always find a new family. You can just start over. People who have run away or their families are wiped out, like their families just aren't there anymore. You just go hang out with some other people, and before you know it, a couple drinks and a few weekends later, they're calling you, "What's up, bro?" It's like you're one of them all of a sudden, and you're like, "Dude, this is way cooler than my last family."
We've all been through that.
You guys are awesome. I mean, I've only been there once or twice, but I mean, after I've migrated enough times, I've realized that family, as great as they are, is replaceable.
The grass is always greener.
At the end of the day, the hardware is what's really going to be there for me. When I get home, my family's all asleep, or they've just kicked me out of the house again, I'm just going to go straight up to my computer and know that my rig is going to just welcome me home like a freaking puppy dog. Every time I come home, my computer's never going to bitch at me or tell me what to do or be disappointed in me, think that I'm a failure, or not invite me to Thanksgiving like that one time. I think it just hardware is where it's at, really, and it's done so much for me that I would like to give back to it, and I feel like we have more of a relationship than a replaceable nuclear family.
Okay.
That's it.
Also, I mean,
love you, Mom. Love you.
Not to
love
argue
you,
your
Mom.
side for you, but also helps keep you warm in the winter.
Sure does.
Okay.
Literally and figuratively.
Let's check out results here. Computer parts, wow. By a huge margin. Everyone wants computer parts. Good pick on that one. 15% of our audience will be returning their Christmas presents for cash to fuel their drug habits. Wow, and 52% in climbing, Kyle.
And climbing. It's going up. I really sold it. Paul.
I'm happy that 13% did agree with me. It's all about the family. I was just...
Those pity votes.
My mom might be watching, that's why. Only 13 people want a pony.
Oh.
So there you go.
Ponies are great.
Anyway, and 45 people don't even celebrate Christmas, and we're assholes. Thanks for calling us assholes, people who don't celebrate Christmas.
Yeah, jeez.
Maybe if you celebrated Christmas, you wouldn't be so mean.
You fucking Scrooge.
Okay.
You Scrooge bastards.
All right. Let's move on to the final segment for my half, which is going to be some technology news. Some techno news. Some news set to techno music. All right. Let's start with this article on Tom's Hardware. Tom's Hardware, they got a 7700K, and so they overclocked it and benchmarked it.
We're already on an hour, by the way.
We're already up to an hour, so we'll run through this quickly. Yeah, they like, it's a really weird article, because usually stuff like this is under NDA, and they can't talk about it or share benchmarks or anything. They specifically said they got this. They don't say where or how they got it. They say that they contacted Intel, and Intel declined to comment on their general findings. The CPU they received is not marked as an engineering part. As you can see, it says i7-7700K on there. So they can't... It seems to be a retail sample, but they can't confirm that with certainty. They tested this on a Gigabyte Z170X Ultra with an updated UEFI, so it would support the new Kaby Lake processors. At stock, the 7700K ran at 4.5 gigahertz, and it pulled 1.3 volts, or at least the motherboard provided 1.3 volts for it. He also overclocked it to 4.8 gigahertz, also remaining at 1.3 volts. which
That's
was
nice.
a pretty good overclock.
Yeah.
They compared that to their 7700K's overclock at about the same voltage, which hit 4.6 gigahertz. And then they ran a bunch of benchmarks. So links to this is in the description. I'm not going to go over every single one, but they have some power measurements that they took. It definitely pulls more power. There's no big leaps in efficiency here. The main leaps seem to be in a little bit better overclocking performance, and also potentially a little bit more power draw, depending on what frequency it's actually running at. So anyway, there's their overclocking results. Again, 4783 is what it hit, modified slightly by a kind of quirky base clock value, I think, that the motherboard had it run at. And then here's all the benchmarks. Synthetics, 3D, get away from there.
TDP still
3D
the
Mag
same?
13 Skydiver. I
Do we
think
know?
so. It might have gone from like a... No, I think it's the same TDP. Or that might not even be for sure yet, because
Yeah.
we're still dealing with the weird time between, like, products have gone out, apparently, but
Official
it's still... Yeah, Intel
launch.
still hasn't confirmed a bunch of stuff, so...
That'd be interesting.
Anyway, here we can see, 6700K and 7700K, and then the upper results are not overclocked. The lower results, both of them are overclocked. Bear in mind that the 6700K is running on the overclock speed at 4.6 instead of 4.8, and the improvements are marginal for the most part. I was looking at mainly 3 to 5%. Performance improvement.
Yeah.
So considering it is the same architecture. This is not a tick or a talk. It is a refinement
Right.
of the Skylake architecture. So we're not necessarily expecting to see a huge boost, although they do say that the Sandra arithmetic and multimedia scores showed some appreciable gains for the higher clocked processor. And then yeah.
It's going to mostly be, I think, the chipset that's the main draw with this platform.
Yeah, so Z270 does seem to have, some extra stuff and everything, that people might be interested in. But also nice to be able to drop this onto, a Z170 board or a B150 or whatever, as long as your motherboard manufacturer provides an update for you. They ran some game benchmarks as well. Again, solid little bit of improvement. A little bit better. Not huge. No one with the 6700K is like gonna immediately be like, I need to sell my 6700K and get a 7700K.
Yeah.
But I'm sure people with older systems who have been waiting to upgrade for a while might want to jump on this, because it does seem to have pretty good performance overall.
On my half of the show, we will be talking about the something that's a bit unprecedented for Kaby Lake or Intel in general, which is the unlocked Core i3 and some potential benchmarks for that.
Yes.
So that's
More
kind
stuff.
of exciting.
Actually, that is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm actually, I haven't read about that, so I'm curious to. What is this driver optimizer garbage?
Is that Tweaktown?
I don't know what it is.
Fuckers.
Anyway, so there it is. A little bit more on Kyle's half the show. Oh no, there's supposed to be another story there. Where did it go? Hold on one moment. This one. If you're right, it was Tweaktown, Kyle.
I don't even have to guess anymore.
Tweaktown. You load up a Tweaktown page.
Fucking hell.
Wait 5 minutes, and suddenly it's a completely different website for an ad. I'm just like, what the hell?
Sad. It's sad that I could just
Damn
shoot in the
it.
dark like that and get it right. That indicates a problem.
And I know there's some good info buried in here.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is an article by our friend Anthony, who we're going to send tweets to after this.
Anthony, you soulless bastard.
Tell him about this video. Anyway, this is a different website, had a 7700K, Zolcorn.com. I feel like I've vaguely heard of before, but that's kind of interesting. Anyway, they also got a 7700K. They overclocked it to 5 gigahertz. Still at 1.3 volts, they say.
Wow.
But then it basically heat pooled up to over 100 degrees Celsius.
Cooling on what?
Which
does
is
it say?
pretty hot. I don't know. I was looking at this image, and like these are like spikes on a single core going up pretty high there. I mean, they're running Prime 95 on it, so
Intel stock cooler.
so yeah, they're putting a pretty reasonably heavy load, I suppose, on there. But still, 100 is pretty warm.
Yeah.
But it does seem to show that it seems like we might be thermally limited when it comes to the overclocking of these. So although you might have better overclocking potential, the heat's going to scale up pretty quickly once you hit the roof of that.
You'll need a more robust
potential.
cooling solution in
Yeah.
place if you want to hit those clocks. Yeah.
They also ran the 7700K at 4.9 gigahertz, at 1.26 volts.
Wow. That's pretty damn good.
Which would be nice.
Shit.
If it wasn't getting too warm...
If it wasn't getting 100 degrees Celsius.
If it wasn't getting too warm, 4.9 gigahertz at 1.26 volts, I'd run that 24/7. But again, it's really going to depend on the heats and how hot it's getting.
Yeah.
All right. A couple more quick stories here. An overclocker has delidded an AMD AM4 CPU.
Delidded!
They specifically found out that the CPUs are using either solder or liquid metal underneath the heat spreader, which is something that Intel stopped doing a while back, and after Sandy Bridge, I believe, and Intel's got a lot of crap about it, and it's kind of led to the rise in popularity of delidding stuff to give yourself better cooling when you have more direct contact with the CPU die. But yeah, they've at least confirmed that the AM4 CPU will have a central cutout and will have a total of 1,331 pins, which thankfully matches the existing images of the AM4 socket, I certainly hope. The one that he delidded is not a Zen CPU, for anyone who might be confused. Pardon me. It's likely an AMD Bristol Ridge APU with excavator cores. The overclocker's name, by the way, is Daiwan. Nam Daiwan.
Nam Daiwan.
And yeah, according to Max Sun, AMD's Zen CPU will first launch on January 17th. Wait, where'd that go? January 17th. That's a rumor. We don't know if that's for sure or not.
Hopefully that's true.
That's according to this website.
So that's after CES.
After CES with a second, or maybe it launches and available for sale.
Yeah.
With a secondary launch for additional, likely lower-end Zen CPUs in early March. So AMD is likely to officially reveal their Zen CPUs at CES.
Cool. We will be there covering all the jazz.
Yes, we will.
Good beans.
All right, one last quick story here. Hold on.
Dum, 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 dum.
I need a drink of water. I'm all congested all of a sudden.
Really? Don't get me sick. You stay away.
I'm not sick.
You stay away from me.
Excuse me. I'm fine. Nothing's wrong.
Okay.
All right, WCCF Tech article. This one actually dovetails with Kyle's half of the show, so he's going to be sharing a little bit more information when we get to his half. But there's been some more leaks about AM Zen. Specifically, their SR7 8-core flagship CPU is allegedly going to sell for $499.
That's awesome.
And will allegedly outperform Intel's 8-core
That's amazing.
i7-5960X, which, yes, would be amazing if it's true.
Yeah.
Engineering samples have been spotted in the wild. These latest versions of the engineering samples have a 3.2 gigahertz core clock and a 3.5 gigahertz turbo. They have a new ID tag on them. And it's an 8-core, 16-thread variant. These are the highest clocked engineering samples that have been seen to date. The improvement in clock speeds over the previous revision puts it ahead of Intel's 8-core Haswell E i7-5960X processor in terms of performance. Again, we're not sure if this is true. We're not sure what performance they're talking about, what software they're using. But I would love some. I would love. Amazing. God, like, so many people could benefit from like an 8-core Intel enthusiast processor that only costs. It doesn't even have to be $500, but $600 or $700. Like, yeah, make the 10-core $800 or $900. Like, you can still have a product stack and still profit, in my opinion. But they need that competition from AMD in this range. So
well, I feel like that's one thing AMD has going for them, or has always had going for them, is being known as like the more economical option.
Yeah.
Where you can get better price to performance. Maybe it's not like outperforming Intel like mark for mark, but it's at least a better value. And I feel like they've kind of harbored that, or they've kind of like grown that reputation so strongly that if they're doing things right, I think they're going to try to implement that same marketing kind of strategy for the launch of Zen.
Yeah.
Where I think like they're going to want to outdo Intel in terms of price to performance. So I hope they do. I hope they continue the trend of being like the more value-oriented option.
I do as well. Just two more things from the article. They reportedly have another 8-core besides the one they're talking about here. Also an 8-core Summit Ridge part for $350. An SR7 CPU. Mid-range SR5 segment will have a 6-core part at $250. So 6-core, $250
Damn.
Zen CPU. should be the sweet spot of the Summit Ridge stack. And then again, more about this stuff on Cal's half of the show. Let's rattle off some donations really quick. We have a couple more.
Donations.
Colton Spears, thanks for your $5 donation. Rocking a Corsair 750D case. Is there anywhere you can buy custom skin? Ooh, 750D has kind of like a brush metal look on the outside, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Or at least on the, is that
At the
just
front.
on the front?
The front, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know anywhere you can buy custom skin.
Custom skin.
I would, if you're really interested in something like that, look up water transfers, because there's companies that can do that for lots of different things.
Right.
You probably would send them your case, and you can do a water transfer of just about any image onto it. We had some cases that they did that with back when we were at Newegg that turned out pretty cool.
Yep.
So maybe something like that. Automatic Tech, thank you as well for your $5 donation. With new deep learning, your computer may be disappointed by you, Kyle.
I think without deep learning, my computer's
computer's
disappointed by me every day.
Already disappointed. Like, really? You're going back to that website?
Some of the things you do on here, let me tell you.
You know that's illegal in most of the states. All right.
Cannot unsee.
Okay, some quick Johnson shout-outs. Let's see if anybody has ordered anything from us. I have an order.
I have nothing.
No, I have 2 orders.
I have nothing. You guys hate me.
I have 2 orders.
You do not like the new Bitwood logo.
Michael.
I hate you all.
Michael from South Carolina. Johnson, to
Just
you.
kidding.
Oh, got the organic cotton beanie. Thank you very much. Little jingle jangle for
Rest
you
in
there.
peace, headphone users.
I am sure it will keep your head nice and warm. As well as Matthew or Jackie. Matthew or Jackie. I don't know. There's separate information there, so I'm guessing one's a billing.
Matthew's the one who bought it.
Probably. Or
Jackie used
I don't know.
Matthew's credit card against his will without his knowledge, and this is like fraud. Like, Jackie, why are you being a dick to Matt?
Well, they have the same last name, so
That's even a bigger issue. You know, if you guys
Okay.
are married and stuff, there's some things you need to work out there. Like, who's really like taking care of like the funds?
They ordered 2 glasses though, so maybe one for each of them.
Unless it's for like a like a mistress, you know. One of the glasses is for like.
Why are you always
Maybe
assuming...
Matthew doesn't even know that Jackie ordered the glasses. Like, who's the second glass for, Jackie? Who's the second glass for?
You're supposed to end my half of the show on like an uplifting,
You're right.
a positive.
I'm sorry. I don't know why I'm so
Thanks
skeptical.
for watching my half of the show. Kyle's half is linked in the description, so check that out. Hit the thumbs up button on the way out if you can. And thanks for watching, guys. We'll be back very soon with the second half of the show.
Yep. I know I need a haircut in chat. Obviously.